Hello everyone and welcome back to TowerGate. It is TowerGate day number 1081, 1081, Monday, March 23rd, 2020. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, let's go ahead and cover the news of the day and then we'll get to the winner of the Dumbass of the Week. Okay, so the big story I think coming out today, which really started yesterday, Sunday, was when Madam Botox, of course, announced that they are not going to go along with the Senate bill. And sure enough, after making that statement, the bill came up for vote Sunday evening, and not a single Democrat voted for it. Despite the fact that there were Democrats involved in the process all along, they were right on board with it, and nobody had any idea that they would pull a stunt like that at the 11th hour and vote against this bill. I think it's going to be political suicide for them. But anyhow, yes, Pelosi saying that they will come up with their own plan. She says that the bill lacks SNAP funds, emergency leave provisions, and she wants more than 3 months of unemployment insurance, and that their bill is around $1.6 trillion. Well, the bill that they just voted down in the Senate was almost $2 trillion. The very first bill that they passed did address unemployment benefits and emergency leave. The second bill further addressed unemployment, and there's another follow-up bill that will likely come after this once we know how far we have to extend unemployment insurance. We just don't know. Maybe what we have in place right now, if had they passed that bill, would have been fine. And then if you need to extend it, you can always go back and extend it. So what is really going on here? Is Madam Botox and the demo commies actually suicidal and evil enough to screw with this relief package at such a critical time? Are they that freaking evil? Yes, they are. As I've said many times, they want to see the country fail, because if the country fails, they can say Trump failed. The most important thing to them is winning back power. They don't care if they have to destroy the country in the process. As far as they're concerned, a successful country run under Trump is far worse than a failed country run under a Democrat. So this should not surprise us. And here's what's driving all this. All this past week, a lot of the left-wing pundits, especially on the far progressive wing of the Democratic Party, have been taking shots at the Democrats because Trump's been characterized as being to the left of them on providing these benefits to workers, to small businesses, and all these sorts of things. So the Democrats have been beating up people saying, where's the leadership? Where are the Democrats? This is all Republicans and Trump doing all this stuff, and the Democrats just seem to be doing nothing. And so Madam Botox is realizing that if this is successful, the package gets through, it will look good on Trump and good on Republicans, and they will have been seen as not been a part of it. So to try to save some face, Madam Botox and Chuck the Cuck are basically going to try to come up with their own bill, which will probably be identical to the bill that's sitting there now, with practically no differences at all, because they need to be able to project that they had a role in making all this happen, that they had a role to play. Because right now it looks like they're sitting on the sidelines and doing nothing, and they can't take that kind of a political hit. So they're willing to screw regular people who are waiting on these checks. They're ready to do more harm to the country so that they can save a little face. That's really what it boils down to. As I've said, these people hate Trump more than they love the country. And they don't even love the country anyway. They just love power over the country. So the Democrats are showing their true stripes once again. This is not going to play well. Now, the left-wing media will go out and try to run cover for them, but just too many people understand what's going on because they're paying attention. And when everybody wakes up on Monday morning and finds out that the bill that was supposed to be passed on Sunday night, which would put everything into motion so that they could start getting this relief out to everyday working class people, and they find out that there's now going to be a delay in that process because Madam Botox and Chuck the Cuck got their feelings hurt because they weren't considered being part of the solution, and they can't have that. So once people realize that tomorrow, they're going to be really pissed. And I would say that the pressure is going to be so incredible on Madam Botox and Chuck the Cuck that this publicity stunt is going to fail miserably. Because I don't think that McConnell is going to play this game, and I don't think Trump is going to play this game. I think that what McConnell is probably going to do, if I know McConnell, is that he's a lot smarter than Pelosi and Schumer. He's been doing this a long time. McConnell is simply going to bring the bill. He's going to go out tomorrow morning, on Monday morning. He's going to step up to the Senate floor. He is going to make a speech and basically say, hey, we've got the package ready to go. It covers this, 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 and this. It addresses just about everything that they're complaining about. If we have to come back for more, we can do that. But right now, we need to go, 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 go. And what's holding it up is 6 votes in the Senate, all because of Chuck and Nancy. So they need to get their asses over here. I'm going to put the bill back up after lunch. We're going to vote on it again. And let's see if they vote against it this time. And that's probably what McConnell's going to do, is put the bill back up sometime tomorrow afternoon and force him to vote against it twice, after he's already laid out and made it perfectly clear that the things that they're complaining about are essentially already taken care of or can be picked up at a later date if in fact it's necessary. So this has nothing to do with the bill. Nothing at all to do with the bill. This is purely politics. It's purely politics. That's all it is. And I would think that Trump is probably not in the mood to play these types of shenanigans. So I would think that he or someone on his staff are going to be on the phone to Madam Botox and Chuck the Cuck. If not tonight, then certainly first thing in the morning, letting them know that hey, you're playing politics with this, and we're not going to put up with it. The bill's over there in the Senate. Sign the damn thing, and let's get this aid out to people, and we can discuss these other things as they come up. But they're not things that should shut down this bill right now. So I think that this is a political stunt, PR trick. I think it's going to backfire big time, and I don't think McConnell is going to capitulate, and I don't think that anybody on Trump's team, the majority of Republicans, Democrats who are part of this, are going to think that they're going to get a better deal by waiting for the House to put together their own bill so that it can so they can be voted on in the House. Then it has to go be voted on back in the Senate. This will take a whole other week at least and delay everything by a week. And I think that too many Americans are paying attention to this, and I think that this is going to be a faceplant with Pelosi and Schumer. I think the pressure will probably cause them to cave, and they'll probably try to negotiate a settlement with McConnell and the White House tomorrow by just basically saying, well, you got to give us some credit. You got to say that we couldn't have got it done without us, that we had to include this stuff or whatever. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for some political help to get some credit, so it doesn't look like they were doing what they were actually doing, which is doing nothing but trying to obstruct and keep this bill from moving forward. Because again, it will look good for Trump, it will be good for the country, and will make Trump look good. And they just can't have Trump looking good doing anything. It doesn't work in their political scheme, and certainly in an election year. So again, it's just a shame, but that is the reality of the situation, and it's obviously not going to change anytime soon. But I think that we're going to find out that by tomorrow night, this fight will probably be over pretty quickly. I don't think they'll be able to stand the heat, the pressure that they're going to be taking, because I just don't think that the left-wing media can carry their water on this one. I don't even know if they'll try. They probably will. Now, MSNBC, CNN, certainly. But some of the other news organizations, I'm not so sure. And it's a bad political move, a bad PR move, and it's going to end up actually hurting them worse. Ultimately, this aid package is going to get through, and ultimately Trump is going to get the credit, and there's nothing they can do about that. This is what bothers them. They see that Trump, his approval has gone up in the last week. His approval in handling this particular crisis has gone up, and they see their political hopes dwindling. They know that they're going to be a minority party come this November. They know that they got quid pro quo Joe is not going to get it done. They see nothing but bad news coming. And, I guess their theory is, well, if we can't have power, we'll just blow up the whole damn thing. That appears to be their strategy, but I believe it's a failing strategy. And I think that most people will see it as such. I think the pressure will cause them to cave probably tomorrow, because I don't think Mitch McConnell is going to play the game, and I don't think the White House will play the game. So we'll see what happens, I should say today, Monday, but we'll see how this political stunt goes. But I'm thinking it's not going to go very well, and if you ever wanted to know how evil these demo commies are, you're seeing it firsthand, right there. It tells you everything you need to know. Now, the progressives in general are experiencing massive depression. It's a manic depression. And this is coming on the heels of them realizing that Commie Bernie is simply not going to get it done. There was some rumors Sunday morning that he might be suspending his campaign, but by the end of the day, there's no confirmation from his campaign that that's the case. So as far as we can tell, he's still hanging around. But of course, there was a lot of progressives that were still Tulsi Gabbard fans. And of course, when Tulsi left the race and endorsed Biden, that broke a lot of progressives' hearts. There are really a lot of progressives that liked Tulsi Gabbard and were very, very disappointed and devastated in some cases that she came out and endorsed Biden. But let me tell you, they're going to be even more devastated when Commie Bernie drops out and endorses Biden. And that will probably happen sooner than later. Both Tulsi and Bernie are going to endorse Biden, just like Kamala Legs in the Hair, Harris endorsed him, just like Yang endorsed him, just like Bloomberg endorsed him. They're all going to endorse the nominee. And that's what you're going to see. I mean, Ron Paul was very rare. After he got screwed, he never came out and endorsed Romney, and I'm pretty sure he didn't vote for him. But that was Ron Paul. He's actually his principal. But none of these people here have principle. And, so I assumed Tulsi would endorse the nominee. I think she said that's what she would do. So this is what's really got the progressives' goat. But what's really extraordinary is that they still don't get it. Because I watch a little bit from time to time of, Young Turks, Secular Talk, The Humanist Report, Tim Pool, although Tim Pool's in a lot of ways almost like a Trump supporter. He'll never come out and admit it, but, he clearly is hammering progressives and Democrats quite hard over the last couple months in that type of thing. But anyway, when you look at most of these progressive sites, they still continue to act as if Bernie really is the most popular politician in the country, that everyone loves Medicare for all, that everyone really wants the policies that Bernie is pushing. They continue to live in this dream world, despite the fact that he just got his ass kicked by Burisma Joe, who's practically senile. He still got his ass kicked. Because even Democrats, even the majority of Democrats, do not want Commie Bernie's policies. Yet for some reason, these progressives continue to believe that socialism is actually really very popular. And the only reason that Bernie, didn't win is because of this reason or that reason. And it'll give every reason in the world. They continue to believe that there's just like this silent majority of socialist-loving Americans that just for some reason don't show up to vote. And they can make up multiple excuses for why. Oh, we got cheated. Well, they tried to cheat Trump too. It didn't keep his people from coming out and voting for him, did it? They tried to stop Trump just as hard as the Democrats tried to stop Bernie. But Trump was popular enough. His ideas were popular enough. He was a strong enough candidate to be able to overcome all of that. Commie Bernie is not. He is a super weak candidate. His ideas are not popular with hardly anybody in the country. It's a small group of far left-wing commies and a bunch of young people who don't vote. But they continue to pretend that the progressives continue to live in this. If you just watch the Young Turks, Secular Talk, the Humanist Report, all these people, they literally believe that the majority of people really want Bernie's policies. But they're too stupid to listen to what Bernie has to say and to vote for him, or what have you. It's mind-numbing, actually, to watch. And even when they see for themselves that Bernie can't even win the nomination and is in a very liberal party running against a man who's practically brain dead and has no political skills whatsoever, they still believe that Bernie's policies are popular. They still believe that the whole country wants Medicare for all, government-run health care, despite the fact that that's the solution to the crisis. But when you look around the world, all these countries that have government-run health care, China, the Europeans, Italy, Greece, they all have government-run health care. How are they doing? In Italy, they just announced yesterday that if you're over 60, they're just going to let you die. And it'll get that way in Europe as well, because they have the same system. And it's a very limited system. And they essentially practice euthanasia. You get to a certain age, tough. And and here in America, when you explain to people what Medicare for all is and how much it costs, then they don't support it anymore. So these people are delusional. And what's made it even worse this week is they've tried to spin this narrative that, see, Bernie's policies are so popular that even Trump is now endorsing them with this relief package. They're saying it's UBI, Universal Basic Income. See, Trump's going to give the workers a $2,000 check. He's going to give families this amount of checks. He's going to give this and give this and give this. See, that proves it. Even Trump can see that UBI is a great idea. No, he's not endorsing UBI, Universal Basic Income. It is a relief package that's based temporarily on the fact that these people just got kicked out of their jobs for what hopefully is not too long of a period of time, but it's a short window of time that these people are not able to work, and we don't want to let them die. So we're going to try to help them out. It's a relief package. It's not Trump endorsing UBI. It's not UBI. There's a lot of things involved in that I don't have time to go into. But again, this is the spin. Progressives will try to latch on to anything to hold on to that dream that they see slipping away every day. Bernie again fails. Then they still have a little bit of that dream with Tulsi. She's gone. They had a little bit of the dream with Warren. She's gone. A little bit of that dream with Yang. He's gone. Kamala legs in the air Harris. She's gone. All these little things that they try to hold on to that they believe gives them some comfort that there is some sort of great silent majority really wanting socialism and Bernieism, but when it doesn't pan out, then they resort to these insane dreams, I guess is what they are. I don't know what else you would call them, because they're not reality-based conclusions that you would draw based on the facts that we see. So they ignore the facts that they see or spin them in such a way to try to hold on to that dream of socialism when it simply isn't there. But let them go ahead. I mean, they're going to split the Democratic Party. I agree with a lot of those people that the Bernie folks are not going to come out and vote for Biden under any circumstances. Most of them, at least half, will not come out and vote for Biden. So, I'm all good with it. I mean, it's a divided party that's going to get its ass kicked in the fall. And so, let them go ahead and play this game, but essentially it's a loser, and they're all losers. This idea that Trump's and the Republicans are embracing socialism, no, that's not what they're doing. It's a temporary relief package, and it's only because we have a very good capitalist system that generates tremendous amounts of money that will allow us, first of all, to be in a position to do this, and then to be in a position to recover from it. Because if we had a socialist system, it would be destroyed. And on the other side of it, when you come out of it, you would be looking at a depression for 10 years. At least with our system, once we go back to our system, once this is all over, we can recover very quickly and possibly come out even stronger than before. But this will never get through the heads of the leftists. They are stuck on stupid. Well, of course, we had Mr. Potato Head, John Brennan, out tweeting again, despite the fact that Trump's doing an amazing job, especially under these circumstances. Here you have Mr. Potato Head again dropping a hate bomb on Trump right in the middle of all this. I mean, this guy needs to be locked up, man. I mean, Brennan is literally a psycho. This guy is a psychopath. He needs to be locked up. Literally locked up. I mean, this guy's nuts. And, man, I just can't wait for Durham to put an end to this. And hopefully that guy will be one of the top of the list getting thrown into the Hushkow. And a couple of years with Brennan, a few years with Brennan in the big house, with us not having to put up with his ridiculous psychotic tweets, will be a benefit to the country, Mr. Durham. Go ahead and do that now. You've got enough evidence right now to put him in the lockup, and would shut him up. What a despicable man he is. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the dumbass of the week. Well, we had Deep State Soup Sandwich. He's going to go with that NBC reporter. I believe he will be talking about Peter Alexander. Yeah, it was great the way that Trump shut him down and shut him up. It was just as Trump described it. It was a ridiculous question. It was a loaded question. And it was exactly what he said, sensationalism. Guy is no journalist. He is an asshole. And I would have booted his ass out of the press conference. I would literally would have had him removed from the room. But, you know, Trump's a little nicer than I am. Keith Fellows went with Sleepy Joe and all the demo commie voters. Yeah, I mean, you can put all of them solidly in the dumbass of the week categories for a lot of the reasons I just explained. They are literally dumbasses, and they simply do not get it. Thank you very much, Keith. Perk Dog. He's going to go with the mainstream media, the corporate media, of course. Yeah, the corporate media, you can put them in dumbass of the week in the top 3 of dumbass of the week every week, you know, without even thinking about it. That's just, but yeah, they are rising to a particular level of stupidity and hate that we haven't previously seen. The bar has been raised for them, but believe me, in the end, it's going to hurt them badly, very badly. We have cards. He's going to go with Judge Amy Berman Jackson. Yes, indeed. And the more we find out about her and this cabal around her, the more it looks like she, too, should be considered one of the coup plotters. Hey is going to go with the despots who demand 18 months of shutdown. Yeah, I mean, you cannot shut down the U.S. economy. There are things that we can do and should do, such as gatherings in large places, recreational activities, things that are not necessary. But most of the jobs that we all do every day are necessary. You got to have food in the stores. Well, someone has to make that food. Someone has to bring it to market. Someone has to package it. Someone has to make the packaging that you use to package it. Someone has to do all these things. We also have the pharmaceutical industry, the medical industry, which I'm kind of related to. That's why our company is still running, and why we're not we're exempted, I guess you would say, in the state of Ohio. So yes, we need to tone down on the large gatherings. We need to keep our space. We need to do everything we can to keep spreading the virus. But you cannot shut down the entire U.S. economy. And anyone saying that is out of their mind. And that's why Trump hasn't done it. And that's why the federal government certainly will not do it. As far as what the governors do, that's on them. We will see. But I think it's a mistake for California and New York and Washington, and I don't know what other states have done it, to try that total shutdown of their cities. But you know, I think that's going to end up causing more problems than it relieves. I think it's a bad idea. We'll keep watching to see how that turns out. But yeah, I agree with hey, you cannot shut down the economy, especially for 18 months. That's ridiculous. Dennis Waddell will go with Burisma Joe. Michael will go with our governor, Mike DeWine. So I guess maybe Michael lives in Ohio too. Okay, so yes, Governor DeWine, he too is, I think, over-managing, micromanaging, over-managing the situation. He's leaning in that direction. Our business is open. Most businesses I know are open in Ohio. I don't think he's gone as hardcore as New York and California, but he might get there before the week is up. And we're not big fans of Mike DeWine anyway. Also, he's going to go with Dr. Fauci, who we now know is a closet Clinton supporter, and of course the mainstream media. We have Mike G. He's going to go with Burr, Loeffler, and Feinstein. Yes, the inside traders. The fact that all of them are still trying to hold on to their positions is quite regrettable. All three of them should resign immediately. Larry Lyons. DeWine, yeah, I know Larry, of course, lives just a little north of me, so he also has to live under Mike DeWine as well. Nobody really likes Mike DeWine in Ohio, by the way. Even Republicans don't like Mike DeWine in Ohio, by the way. Just in case you didn't know. He's not a real popular governor here. And who do we have before him? Kasich. But when you look at the Democratic choices, they don't look so bad. So Larry Lyons is going to go with Mike DeWine, Burr, and Feinstein. Turn in your guns, Mr. and Mrs. America Feinstein. Yeah, the inside trader group, along with Mike DeWine, that's a solid three right there. Well done, Larry. Mrs. Miggins is going to go with Madonna. Yes, indeed. That cringy video that she did is disturbing, to be quite honest with you. She needs some help. Of a medical nature. Never really liked Madonna. Never liked her tunes very much. The woman just disgusts me for a lot of reasons. I don't know what it is. There's something about her. I've never liked Madonna. So that's just me. But that video she did is actually disturbing. Quite honestly. She should pull it down off of Twitter. Youngblood will go with Peter Alexander and Tulsi Gabbard. Yep. Peter Alexander and Tulsi certainly letting down a lot of progressives. I could care less. I'm not a Tulsi Gabbard fan. I think she's a nice lady and all. She seems nice and everything, but I mean, I could never vote for her. Policies are, bad. And of course, the fact that she would endorse Biden tells me she has no principles. I wouldn't endorse Biden. I mean, I would go out there and say he's and then the first reason she gives is she starts talking about the wars. Well, it's Trump who is opposed to regime change wars. Not Biden. It's Trump who's trying to get us out of the wars that the neocons got us into. Yet she's going to go put her support behind the neoliberal who voted for all the wars and would get us into even more. I mean, her principles don't line up with her bullshit. That's the problem with Tulsi Gabbard. She's got a nice line of bullshit. But when it comes down to where the rubber meets the road, she sides with the warmongers, even though she says she's opposed to them. The real anti-war guy is Trump. But she endorses Biden. You figure it out. Gene Alley. He's going to go for Pence for choosing Fauci and Birx for his task force. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this Fauci guy. I think he's very overrated. And of course, once we read this letter that he wrote to the Right Reverend Clinton and the whole 9 yards, I liked him even less. Dr. Birx, I don't know. I mean, I think they could probably do better. And of course, along with those individuals, Gene is going to go with the insider traders and Peter Alexander. Yep, 3 solid choices for Gene as usual. Oregon Outback, he's going to go with Biden's political advisors. Yeah, I mean, Biden's political advisors are horrible. And to try to make even more excuses for why he's been absent, they drop another horrible reason today by having Biden tweet out that they're having issues with the lighting. That's why they haven't been able. That's why you haven't been able to see any quid pro quo Joe, is because of the lighting. They're trying to get his home set up as a studio so they can put him out there every day. But he's got low ceilings, and therefore it's a problem with the lighting. No one cares about the damn lighting. He should be able to pull out his damn phone and get something out there. It has nothing to do with his lights or any of that other stuff. It has to do with the fact that he's surrounded by a bunch of advisors who are clueless, just as incompetent, probably a bunch of Hillary's people, probably the same people that ran her miserable, lousy, losing campaign. Probably the same type of people. In fact, we know that two of them are. The two top people running his campaign are Clinton, former Clinton people. So, yeah, he's got really bad people around him. But even if he had great people around him, they probably are cringing at the thought of what's going to happen when they turn on the video and this dude has to actually look presidential and say something that makes sense without screwing it up. He can't. That's what's going on. Absolutely. Richard Sharman. He's going to go with Biden for saying he would still have open borders. Oh, yeah. He and Commie Bernie both have said no, they wouldn't have closed the borders. I mean, that's this. I don't know how to explain. I mean, how incompetent these people are. I mean, how are you going to sell that? Remember, we're going to get through this virus at some point, and we're going to find ourselves in the heart, right in the center of a general election, and quid pro quo Joe is going to have to come out and defend these positions. Bernie won't have to. He'll be long gone. He'll have taken his money and cashed out. It's going to be Biden who Bernie pushed into this policy decision to support this decision, who's going to have to come out somehow and defend his comments about China and having open borders. It's not going to go very well. And Trump is not going to let him forget it, or anyone in the country. Jenny tweets, will go with Biden for plagiarizing Trump's plans. Yes, he has no original ideas, nor do the Democrats at all. But it was funny, the fact that every time Trump would do something, Biden would come out and say that Trump should do that. And also the rotten Reverend Clinton, of course. We have Grim Beacon Fire, we'll go with Poverty Pelosi. Jonathan Cassidy will go with the MSM ×3. Peter James will go with Biden, Nancy, and Chuck the Cuck. Well done, Peter. Right on time. Nailing that one. Joe Mack is going to go with Gillum. Yeah, Gillum. Birdwell will go with the mainstream media and the DNC. Net will go with China. Lori Holt will go with Peter Alexander, the Insider Traders, and Madam Botox. 3 solid picks there. Mara, the lovely and talented Mara. Welcome back, my dear. It looks like Mad Cow. Mara is going to go with Mad Cow. Yes, she's leading the charge to try to get them to stop covering the press conferences. Boy, that would be a big fail for their ratings. Jeanette Bateman will go with the Deep State, who's pushing Dr. Fauci, who doesn't want a cure, he just wants more meds. And, of course, the mainstream media and Biden. There you go, Jeanette Bateman. Joe Christensen will go with Peter Alexander. My goodness, he's doing well. A week ago, no one knew who he was. Today, he's leading Dumbass of the Week. Jamie Anzavino will go with Clinton, Biden, and Peter Alexander. Judy Morey will go with Tulsi and anyone voting Democrat. Alan Williams will go with Tulsi. Airly One will go with Tulsi. Susan Lowell will go with Peter Alexander and Madam Botox. Joey D will go with the White House Press Corps. Mike DeWine and the Hollywood Freaks. Well done, Joey, who also lives in Ohio. Let's see. Douglas will go with Sean Penn. Dr. Oz and Madonna. And number 9 will go with Botox for those TP earrings. Have you seen the little toilet paper earrings? Yeah, I believe that was Woods. James Woods, I guess, did that. Very funny. So our winner of Dumbass of the Week will be a tie between Peter Alexander and Burisma Joe. Number 2 would be the mainstream corporate lying left-wing media. And number 3 would be the insider traders. Number 1, Peter Alexander and Biden. Number 2, mainstream media. Number 3, the insider traders. Those are our Dumbasses of the Week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow with more TowerGate. See you guys. Bye.